Welcome to the Quick 10 podcast, brought to you by Trac, focusing on all things FedCon and cyber defense from different perspectives and different personalities, all in 10-ish minutes. Here's your host, Derek White.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Quick 10 podcast, live and in person here, Tampa, Florida. CMMC event called CUICON. We're having great guests, great traction here. A lot of people walking around. It's been a very energetic conference so far. Today, I'm joined by Derek Kernus.
I think I'm the only Derek Kernus on the internet.
And I was just going to say, we get two Dereks in this episode, so this is going to be big time. This is going to be unbelievable. So,
life is good when there's two Dereks. Everything's
spelled
possible.
the same way, so our moms are very
I know,
proud.
most people spell it oil Derek.
I know.
You're doing it wrong.
More letters, more work. That's what my mom
Go back
said.
to the hospital, have them redo the birth certificate.
I love it. So talk a little bit about who you are, what you guys do, why you're at a conference like this, and where you're supporting defense contractors and others that are meeting these compliance needs. And then we'll get into some fun, random questions.
Sure. I'm with Aethon Security, CEO of Aethon Security. We are a boutique MSSP. The only thing we do is work with CMMC. We do a little bit of HIPAA work too, but got started in this space 5 years ago. Well, almost 6 years ago now, actually, right when CMMC was first announced. I was an intern at a government contractor, was asked to get the company compliant with 800-171. It's like, great, what's this? Watched a webinar, saw Katie Arrington mention it, and I realized this is probably going to be a big deal. And I can see organizations, IT and MSSPs taking advantage of this. So I think I want to get in this to help small businesses, and that's how I got here.
Well, I remember where I met you. I don't remember exactly what event it was, but it was kind of one of those first ones where CMMC was this thing, but nobody really knew. And there wasn't a ton of us at this conference. I don't remember which one it was. And I wanted to come over and talk to you because I think I'd met your wife or somebody from your company. I can't remember who it was. And every time I went over there to talk to you, you were busy. And then every time I think you came over to talk to me, I was busy. And then we went like another year without seeing each other.
It was an 8A conference.
That sounds right. Yeah, it was just like a...
I remember her telling me that.
Yeah, it was a tough thing. It was like, well, I mean, it's good that people are asking questions, but that was back in the day when it was a lot of questions. There wasn't a lot of things to point to. So here we are, 2025, and assessments are happening. There's more clarity on providers and people that are helping on what they can do to provide more clarity and more help to the businesses that just are looking for help because they don't have them internally. What are some of the things that you're seeing where you see the light go on? You see your customers, they're bought in. They understand now. They see the importance of it. They're committed, and yeah, that always is a better thing for business, right? It's when your customers are on the same mission as you are, as the outcome of passing an assessment. Anything come to mind on 6 months ago, 12 months ago, this space was different, and now that it's more concrete and it's here, anything light up that you can think of?
Yes, there's an organization that we work with that has been invested in the CMMC compliance requirement for a while, but initially the owner, CEO of the company was not happy about spending the money on it. Shocker, right? And then recently we were talking with the main points of contact in the organization who are not IT people, and that's really kind of digress a little bit. That's really our space. We help organizations have no IT internal staff. We try to do everything for them soup to nuts. If they want to be hosting everything internally, meaning their own network, right? But anyway, we're talking with the POCs at our monthly MSSP meeting, and the two individuals said, the owner CEO is really happy now that we did this. And I was kind of shocked. And I asked why. I said, well, with all these CUI searches that you all do for us now on an annual basis, and we can see the CUI that we have, before that person believed that we didn't have anything and that this was a ruse. And I was like, and now they're really bought in and glad that they've done it. And I'm like, great. That actually makes me feel really good to know that, hey, like we were pushing that person, we were telling them this was important, and now it's producing results, and they're seeing that we weren't just, the big bad wolf coming in and
right.
crying.
Well, and with things like CUI, controlled unclassified information, it is, you have to treat it because where it's at. And if you don't know where it's at, or if you don't know that you have it, was always a big challenge since DFARS got first initially introduced to the world was, I don't have it. I don't think I have it. I don't know. It's not marked. And that is a tough conversation for a small company who's got 500 other things to do, and cybersecurity is not usually at the top of their list.
Mhm.
is the understanding the data that you have, what's sensitive, what's not, who should be in there, who's not. I know you guys do a great job at that, but it is different than it was a handful of years ago, where people now understand I can't just add every user in or just put everybody in because it's easier. It's expensive. It's a lot of work. It's a bigger program, all that kind of stuff. So I know you guys focus on a lot of the scope matters, and that's good to hear. And sometimes you have more than you think, but if you have a good program and you have a good solution, then you can control it, which is what helps with the assessment boundary and all the stuff that people other conversations that we're having with those that are the assessors are looking for, and that's good.
Yeah.
So then from where things are going to go in your mind, is there anything that you hope to see in the next 6-12 months as CMMC more assessments happen, the program rolls out, that you're looking forward to getting there? Is there anything that comes to mind that you just like, man, this would be, I can't wait until these contractors and these OSCs understand that clearer? Does anything come to mind?
I think some of the aspects of the CMMC program do need to be a little more specific. I was having a good conversation with a colleague yesterday that brought something to my attention. I was like, I never thought about it because I'd always been focused on building our environments to make sure that they were meeting DoD requirements. But, I don't know if we've brought it up yet, but I am a lead certified CMMC assessor as well. I've also been an assessor on a joint surveillance assessment, so I understand that side of the street as well. And when conducting an assessment, one of the things that it can be very frustrating for organizations, but if an individual really understands it can be benefit is 80171 is flexible, right? The assessor, they have to assess an organization as meeting the intent of the control, but the way that they're doing it, they can't necessarily um, mark is not met just because they don't like it, right?
Yeah.
So one of the ones that I found really interesting, where I hope there's more specificity, is in the incident reporting requirements in the 3.6 domain, 3.6 domain.
Yep.
Um, it just says reporting to organizational officials, right? It
Mhm.
doesn't say you have to report to DoD, but
Mhm.
who do you report to? Well, if they say, well, we report to CISA, technically that passes the 80171 assessment. But really what we want to see in there is you're reporting to DoD within 72 hours, et cetera,
Yep.
right? According to DFAR 7012. So I do think that the CMMC program needs to get a little more specific to make sure that it is guiding the contractors in the right direction when they're implementing those controls.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that we're seeing that in some, you can see it's coming, right? Which when it arrives will be a different story, but we'll hopefully sooner than later. But that is going back to the data, right? If it's sensitive, then it's sensitive. If it's not, then it's not, right? And a lot of there's a lot of noise out there, I think, where that's I just have to protect everything. But it's not, that's not what they're asking you to do. It's unprescribed controls. That's the best part. If it was a playbook checklist, everyone does the same thing, it would be done, but it would be hard. It
Yeah.
would be
And if,
expensive, and it would be difficult. And it's not, you have the right to do what you want to do. I say this all the time, what you want to do, how you want to do it, as long as it's meeting the intent of the controls and you can document, you can prove it. And then a lot of people at small businesses don't understand that because they're so used to just offloading things and not, no one's telling them the details, right? Go buy this thing, go to this, go do that. Oh yeah, it'll be fine. And it'll probably be fine comments are not good anymore. We know how that goes. It doesn't work out very well. Hence why we have a program like CMMC, which is good. You guys, so I like the comment about being on that side of the fence. You guys also have people on your team, and I know you've gone through the customer side. Being in that seat matters too. It's easy to sit down in a room and tell people what they should be doing and how they should be doing it, but without the experience of, oh, I've been on that. So I've been the one that's been assessed. I've been, from a defense contractor, goes a long ways. When you see people internally in this internal buy-in from your customers, are you seeing an involvement there that it's not just John's job or Betsy's job, it's to do CMMC? Are you starting to see more internal buy-in on what this means to them as an organization?
oh yeah. So I'm smirking because I actually had one client
I hope
recently.
those weren't real names. That was a
Uh,
customer that you
no,
can't.
no, no.
Oh, John
No,
and
but the
Betsy,
situation, I'm the way that Aethon works, we're pretty flexible in a lot of the things that we do. So we're flexible in our network design. I'm also very flexible in my contract negotiations. So I have one MSSP contract right now where the organization, they're a pretty big organization. They have about 500 users, and about 200 of them are CUI users. And they really wanted to make sure that they were training the program managers and the project managers internally on the CMMC requirements. So in that contract negotiation, we have an internal town hall with them every single month where I train their people on what they need to know for their job.
Smart. Yeah, it's good.
So I'm seeing that a lot more because
Yep.
I do think False Claims Act is playing into this.
100%.
Organizations are getting very nervous about it, and they want to make sure that they are not, if there's a breach, because there's kind of two sides of this street, right? There's a breach, it needs to be reported because somehow, I don't know how, but DoD finds out anyway, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So doing the right thing and reporting it is good, but then if an organization has found that they're meeting the CMMC controls, theoretically they should not be a False Claims Act, right? Because
That's right.
breaches happen, cybersecurity is not perfect,
Yeah.
but they really want to make sure that they're doing it the right way.
And I think that's what we believe the intent to be when they originally rolled out 171, right? Was it's okay if an incident happens or a breach happens. It's not great, but the quicker you identify it, and if you're doing it right, you would identify things before they happen in a lot of cases, right?
Exactly.
But if you're not doing even the basics there, then you wouldn't know. And then when they turn around and say, "Hey, how bad was this?" And you're like, well, I don't know, it's been going on for 6 months. That's a problem. That's a problem. Now,
But
if
it goes
it's,
against direct human nature.
it,
though,
it,
right?
it totally does.
It's-
That's exactly right.
People want to
Yes.
hide that stuff. It is human nature. That's where you could have a
100%.
therapist, I don't know, named Katie on here talking about that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a
Well,
different story,
that is a
right?
different story. But that's
But-
true, and that's the human element side of we're seeing. I think we're all seeing it. And that's why I asked is, it's not just this technical solve thing anymore, and it's. But yeah, the intent was, and we see different agencies have different requirements there too, which is going to be interesting over the next 6-12 months on reporting. Like, okay, well, I'll report, but they don't just want you to report that it happened. They want to know the report means that you identified it, you closed it, you fixed it, and it's not going to happen again, hopefully, because we closed this gap. Versus, well, we're not really sure where it started, and we're not really we think we shut it off, and there's really bad examples of some of that stuff. So it's good, and that's where I know you guys do a good job at this, and the human element side, which is what I was trying to hit on there, is important, and that buy-in with that relationship with your customer this is not a finish line. You hear that all the time in our space. It's a journey, but there's milestones. I mean, you see this all the time on LinkedIn, at a lot of these presentations, is that you don't just unbuckle your seatbelt when your flight lands because you got level 2 and I'm not going to go flying for 3 more years. You have requirements that have to stay in place, and that's why obviously we're big fans of you guys, and it's great to be at events like this because you can see no one's here wasting their time, hopefully, on putting time in to let people know that this is what matters. And it's not that simple, but it doesn't have to be as complex, I think, as some people make it out to be, if you get the buy-in from the customer internally and not put some poor soul in charge of it. And I'll say the biggest thing that we've seen in the last probably year to 2 years is the number of people that have left their company. And most of the time it's because they were tasked with this back when CMMC first came out, and they're on an island. And we need this, we need to do that, we need to do
and
that.
not getting the support.
And they're not getting
from-
support internally. And then they're like, I'm not going down in flames for this. And then they go somewhere else. And then now you're talking to on the other side of that, you're talking to the person who's new to the company, and they're 3 months in, and they said, I'm not really sure why that person's not here anymore, but I think I'm starting to figure it out. And it's usually they didn't get support or they didn't know what they were doing, and they left because there was no progress made and there was no plan. And so, we could sit here and talk about this for a week, but thank you for joining. I want to make sure that everybody knows where to find you. So where do you want people to go directly? Tell our listeners, tell our watchers where they can learn more about what you guys do and get in contact.
Yeah. Aethonsecurity.com. It's AETHON security.com. We have all of our service offerings are on there under the solutions page, and there's a contact form on there where you can reach out to us. We are very focused on helping small and medium businesses. We do work with a couple of enterprise, but our main focus is building very tailored environments. So if that's what an organization is looking for and they want help soup to nuts, writing all the documentation, building out their environment because they have complex needs, that's where we lie.
That's awesome. Derek, thank you. Double Derek. podcast episode, which is going to be enormous. Everyone's going to see this. They're like, man,
Now you sound like the president.
yeah,
This is
it's going to be
great.
huge. I know a
Huge.
lot. I don't know a lot of Derek's like this one, but I'm very good friends with him. That's good. Yeah, it'll be good. Thank you again. We'll definitely be doing this again because down the road, 6 months from now, 12 things will be different.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
probably be revisiting
new
these
to talk
same
about.
questions and some new things, but I'm sure we're going to be able to say, remember when we talked about that and how that went and how's that going now? And that'll be exciting to do that.
Awesome. I look forward
All
to
right.
it.
Thank you,
Thanks
Derek.
for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to this episode, and make sure to subscribe to the Quick 10 podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and check us out on YouTube as well. For more information about Cuic Trac, visit our website at www.cuictrac.com. That's CUICKTRAC.com.